So thank you for having me. I lead the Azure business for the US market, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about where we're going, what we're looking at, and we also have a great customer who's going to be joining us. And so let me start with talking a little bit about digital transformation. You heard in Ziv's keynote, he mentioned digital transformation a few times. At Microsoft, this is critical for us as we think about how we transform our customers into the business they need to be moving forward. So there's a few ways to think about it. We're not only transforming our customers' organizations, but we're also transforming as an organization in itself. And so for those of you, you would have seen how Microsoft has really morphed from this on-premise traditional product company into this cloud vendor provider that we are today. And it's not just transforming the services that we deliver to our end customers, but transforming the culture of the organization, how we go to market, how we pay our sales teams, and how we really lead with having business value conversations with our customers. And you'll hear me talk a lot about that around starting with what is the business problem we're trying to solve for you, and the technology will come after that. As I think about digital transformation, there's this saying that I love, which is in the past, big ate small. Large companies ate smaller companies. Now, today, as you think about digital transformation, fast eats slow. So if you're small, but you're fast, and you're nimble, and you're leveraging all the new technology you need, you're going to take out those bigger players. And so fast means new technology, it means stability, it means reliability, and this is really where our partnership with Zerto comes in. Being the best public cloud solution to partner with Zerto in the industry is what strengthens our relationship. That resiliency that those fast organizations need to go to market with is really the game changer around our relationship. And so what is digital transformation? So you can see 76% of CEOs believe that digital transformation is a priority for them. There's a couple other interesting stats here. The resource scarcity is also important, and I think over time we're going to see this number increase. You'll hear me talk about developers. Making sure, and those of you laugh, because if you remember Microsoft 20 years ago, Kevin Turner on stage, developers, they are the most critical part of our ecosystem. Not only for solution vendors like ourselves, but for customers within your environment as well. Having developers building apps, modernizing old apps to transform your organization and get you into the cloud is going to be one of the most critical components for your business success. So what does it mean? We think about digital transformation within these pillars: operations, products, your employees, and then your end customers. And if we look at these pillars all together, what sits in the center is really around data and the capture of data. We had our panel yesterday, and my two colleagues on the other side were talking about how important data is. Data is now the central source of everything as we think about transforming our company. How do we harness the data? Where do we get it from? How do we capture it? How do we read it? How do we transform that data into something useful that we can use to move forward with? And so, starting with operations, making sure that we have the infrastructure, modernizing your legacy databases, making sure that you have all of your data in the right format so you can mine it, and then thinking about how does that feed in to your products, and having that circular loop of information through into your product sets. Enabling your end employees with this continuous feedback of information around customers' experiences, what they need, and then delivering that to your customer. You heard from United, their new app right? The new customer app, how needed it was in the industry, how happy the customers were. And so how do we harness all of that information and bring it together? And so with that, 2 clicks, 3 clicks. Let's talk a little bit about Azure and our partnership together. And so again, I mentioned a little bit about Zerto and the relationship that we had. If you take us back 4 years ago, we decided to partner with Zerto to start bringing to market the most resilient solution we could together. So we aligned our engineering teams to build the KPIs and the solutions across how we connect our business. We've had phenomenal success over the last few years, not only from a product and a technology and engineering perspective, but a go-to-market perspective. At Microsoft, we strongly believe in leading through our partner and our partner ecosystem and connecting them into our end sellers. And so I look after the US business. We have 4,500 sellers in the US, and they're all Zerto sellers. So they all lead with our partner, they lead with our technology. Zerto is one of our top 5 ISVs in the ecosystem that we go to market with, being one of our best resiliency partners in the market. And so if we think about Azure, and I'm going to dig a little deeper into Azure as we progress, but I really think about it from a tools and a serverless perspective as well as infrastructure. Traditionally, people think about public cloud as purely infrastructure, so compute, storage, networking, getting your VMs migrated onto IaaS, but it's so much more than that. And the middle part around serverless, around applications, and that this is where the true digital transformation comes in. But without the layer at the top, you're never going to be able to leverage the services and the capability in the middle. And again, this is where developers and DevOps comes in, making sure that we're modernizing and migrating our solutions onto Azure, onto the cloud, giving you the scalability and the flexibility that you need in the market. Now, leading with some great brands. Azure's got some phenomenal brands. 95% of the top 500 are on Azure. We support our customers in the journey that they have and that they require to move to the cloud. As an organization that started with an on-premise business, we've built our cloud solution from the on-premise story, which means we get it. We understand that not everything can go to the cloud. We understand that it takes time to transition solutions, and we understand that there's a hybrid model that our customers will need to go through. And so with that, I'm really excited to invite Chris Fennell. He is the IT Director of Infrastructure and Security for Frontier Airlines on stage. And we're going to have a little discussion about his business around Zerto and Azure.
Hi.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Good morning, Lindsay.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your organization.
Sure. For those of you that are not familiar with Frontier, let me tell you a little bit about us. We're a low-cost airline based out of Denver, Colorado. We service about 100 cities and growing with about 350 flights a day. We live by a mission statement, which is to deliver low fares done right. That's more than a tagline for us. It's our guiding principle. What it means is we want to be able to give our customers control over their flight and choices so that they're only spending money on that which is important to them.
Great. And tell us about, so it's a large organization, the airline industry is super complex, especially as you think about getting to the right price point. What are the business challenges you try and address as you think about strategically looking after this massive infrastructure?
Sure. So a couple of our major challenges. One, we needed to improve our disaster recovery resiliency posture. As an airline, we run a lot of red-eye flights. Our systems have to be up 24/7, not only for a good operation, but it's an FAA mandate. They need to know that we have a solid backup and recovery plan because we're part of the economy. And if our systems are down for an extended period of time, well, we ground the fleet. And what that means is that one family that can only afford one vacation a year is spending it at the airport and not their destination.
Yeah. And so tell me about how you got engaged with Zerto and how they started to think about solving this challenge.
Sure. So before Zerto, our backup and recovery plan involved an entire team of people. Each had a different role, different responsibility. We had to run through a giant script. One little mistake, and the whole thing was an absolute failure. Well, when we brought Zerto on board, that changed everything. It completely reduced our time. We were in the hours. Now we're under a half an hour in our disaster recovery. And we're down to practically one person that could run the entire thing. It's opened up a whole new world of possibility for us in disaster recovery and for maintenance and even upgrades.
So from hours and multiple resources down to
just a single resource.
A single resource, short amount of time. Tell us about how you engaged Zerto and your kind of life cycle and the journey of connecting with them to where you are today. Your time frame, how you thought about the engagement.
Well, we started the engagement probably over a year and a half ago. It was new waters for us, right? As an airline, we don't move that fast in changing technology. But this became a game changer for us once we adopted it and we tried it out. And we saw the speed in which we could recover. And we saw that we didn't have to spend all of our time with these large scripts, having to copy this over here and this over to here. It was all encapsulated in the Zerto product. Once we got that on board, we actually did a full test, 360 between two data centers with high confidence. The operation was just amazed at how quickly we could recover.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it? Just the speed and the time and the transformation that it can have in an organization. Tell us about how Azure connects in and what Azure has been doing for you.
Sure. So a little background here. The airline runs off data, like many organizations out here. That is the number one thing we need in order to make decisions for safe flights. We get maybe 100 points of data to dispatch an airplane, everything from weather to the number of passengers on board, the conditions of the runway. All that comes together so we can safely ensure that the plane takes off. Well, that information was always relegated to a few people. We needed that to get through a whole operations center.
Yeah.
They weren't able to get to the reports or the dashboards they needed. But now with Azure, we've given the power back to the people. They're creating their own dashboards. They're creating their own.
I might use that one.
They're creating their own dashboards and reports. We can now have that information at our fingertips, where before we weren't able to make actionable decisions in a short amount of time.
Yeah, so consolidation of data, enabling broader resources within your organization to leverage that data in a smarter way, leveraging BI reporting and greater views, adjusted views of being able to see the data.
Absolutely, and even the dashboards that we can display on our monitors in our operations center that tells us exactly what's happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's next? What's your roadmap and your plan?
So our roadmap now is to take the success of Zerto, marry that with the success of Azure, and start building an environment that is more right-sized. We want to, we've had a great success story in our disaster recovery, but we want to be able to take the same advantage we give our customers, which is only be able to pay for that which you need.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to harness that as well.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, then we can pass that savings off to our customers, and we can continue to give them low fares done right.
Scalability and price points, flexibility, and using only what you need.
Exactly.
Well, it's a great story, and so thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your business.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. All right, great story from a joint customer who's really started to think about Zerto and Azure and helping to transform their business. I'm going to click a little bit more down into Azure, the fundamental building blocks that we think about as we look at Azure. And they're really 4 pillars. We start with productivity, and this is how we connect and patch all of our systems together, really thinking about harnessing not only the power of the cloud, but of our productivity tools, our Office suite, our business applications, and our broader solutions that we have in the market, our hybrid solutions that we have, the ability to flex between on-premise and public cloud, open. 10 years ago, you would never have seen open on a Microsoft slide. We're now very, very committed to our open source community. More than 50% of our VMs on Azure are now running an open source platform. Again, a massive change. Satya has this quote, which is, judge us on our future actions and our future intent, less on our past behavior and our past performance. And that really does resonate with trust us, that we're forming alliances, we're connecting with organizations that we may never have connected with in the past to bring our customers the solutions that they need. As well as trusted. Trust that we are the organization that will secure your cloud. Trust that we'll form the alliances with the right partners in the right ecosystem like Zerto to bring you the best solution. Trust that we will not create a business and go after your customers, that we will not become a retailer, a CPG, a media and entertainment organization, that we stick with our core strengths of delivering the best customer services to you. And so with that, let me dig in a little bit around productivity. You know, cloud being the destination, each application may take a radically different path to the cloud. And if we start on your right-hand side and we think about the code, the source code of the app, and how, again, we're reliant on our phenomenal developer ecosystem to help us develop new and modernized applications and take them to the cloud, but also knowing that we have the capabilities around containerizations, whether it's Kubernetes or whatever, to containerize those apps and put them in our infrastructure so you can use them as they are today if you're unable to modernize those apps. Thinking about the data and how we mine that data for what you need, all based on a solid, secure infrastructure with the availability requirements, the low latency, the speed, and again, the partners in the ecosystem that you need. We often message this migrate, innovate concept, which you'll see continuously as our brand, helping migrate legacy systems and innovating them for what our customers need moving forward. And let's talk a little bit about hybrid. So you heard me mention in the Q&A panel yesterday that there's a phenomenal number of our customers who will have a hybrid infrastructure. We have large customers, being enterprise organizations that we support who have large data centers. How do we support them with regards to what they need? Again, we are hybrid by design. That's how we've built our solution. And if you take a click down into what that looks like, you start thinking about our solutions that we've built. We've created a solution called Azure Stack, which sits within your data center. So you have that ability to maintain your data within your local data centers from a sovereignty, security, governance perspective. We support our developers from a DevOps perspective, you know, consistent CI, CD, enabling the containerization Kubernetes capabilities that you need. And then we have our data, our open source databases that we support from an AD perspective, single sign-on replication from an Active Directory perspective, and then consistent security capabilities between your on-premise infrastructure and the cloud. I'm going to give you a minute to really consume the slide. No other public cloud vendor is able to deliver all of these capabilities from a flexibility, a hybrid standpoint in the market today. And then just leveraging into one of our great partnerships that we have and calling out a couple things. Again, this is testament to the relationships that we're building with other vendors and other solutions in the marketplace. We have a phenomenal relationship with SAP. This is where Zerto aligns with us as well. Strong alliances in supporting our SAP customers as we go to market together. Single node scaling up to 24 terabytes. We have just launched 12 terabyte capabilities on SAP HANA. We have the most certifications for SAP in the cloud compared to any other vendor in the marketplace. Every single week, I'm meeting with customers and talking to them about moving their SAP HANA environments into Azure. A great, great opportunity for us with Zerto to go and support our end customers with these large ERP infrastructures and help them scale. The cost savings for our customers is phenomenal. So outstanding cost savings with regards to resources, infrastructure, and some licensing costs for our end customers. And so again, I'll touch a little bit on open. If any of you have, again, been historical Microsoft fans, this might be quite new to you. Every time I deliver this slide, I have customers saying to me, I didn't know Microsoft worked with open source vendors. Well, look at how strong our relationships are with our open source community. So really making sure that we've covered all aspects of the infrastructure and that we have integrated these solutions into Azure, Azure being able to support any of our customers' needs, not just an infrastructure that supports Windows Server, SQL Server environments, but really bringing to market what you need within your environment. Because I don't know any customers who are only running Windows Server, SQL Server environments as great as they are. I have to say that because it's half of my business. So again, great trusted partnerships that we have with the open source community as we think about it. I'm going to talk again about trusted and having a strong trusted relationships with our customers and how we go to market. This is Satya giving you a great quote. I will also say that Microsoft is an organization where our culture is led with trust. Trust again with our partnerships that we have in the market, but also trust that we're not going to mine your data. We're not going to give out your data, and we're not going to use your data for advertising or marketing trends that we see in the market. This is a significant differentiator for us. And in some cases, from a price point, it's where we've lost business in the market. And actually, we're okay with that. Because we want to be the partner that's known as protecting our customers and protecting our customers' data and forming the right alliances with the partners who we know will do exactly the same. So let's link what does that mean as we think about governance, security, and how it connects into our data centers that we have. And you can see what our commitment is around reliability of the solutions, reliability of the partners that we have to drive the resilient solutions in the market, trust, transparency of where your data is stored, how your data is stored, and how it's protected. And so from a coverage perspective, really great global coverage. We have 54 regions, 140 plus data centers across the world, and we continue to add our capabilities and coverage from a global perspective. Secure. People have been trying to hack into Microsoft for years. We're a 40-plus-year-old company. We're the brand name that people really go after. And so we understand data center security. We understand protecting our environments. We have cybersecurity bases all around the world. And what we learn, we build into our solutions and we take out to market to you. We have a new Azure security solution that is in private preview called Sentinel. Sentinel leverages all of our learnings that we see through our cybersecurity networks, and we build it into our product to take to market to you. And so keep watching and see what Sentinel will deliver, fully integrated into our productivity tools from Microsoft 365 perspective. And so that's something really great that we're bringing to market. Compliance being really important for us as well. You probably can't read that. I can't read it. My eyes are not that strong. But there are so many compliance certifications that we adhere to in the market, and there are constantly new ones coming out. We also have our cloud for government data center, fully secure data center. We have a dedicated data center in Germany for obvious reasons, for those of you who do work in Germany. And so really the gambit of what is required is covered, ensuring that we have the full compliance that we need in the market. And so what does that mean as we think about security and global coverage? It means that we have got to think about how we continue to support our customers and the security and data breaches that they're facing every day. And so even though we provide this great technology for our customers to run on-premise, we're unable to secure those data centers unless they're in our cloud. And so how do we think about helping organizations to reduce the risk, reduce the security risk that they have? And part of this is linked into modernizing your infrastructure, looking at your technology, and creating that secure hybrid solution. So I actually have a great story here. It's a combined Zerto and Microsoft Azure story with Jay Peak. They're an interesting organization, as you can see, deliver lots of services during the ski season out to end customers. And they were hit with a ransomware attack, significant downtime and cost to their end business. They formed a partnership with Zerto. Zerto brought Microsoft along to help them to ensure that they have the data resiliency, the disaster recovery infrastructure set up. So if they do have a security threat, or if their environment does go down due to weather conditions, they're able to still sell tickets, they're able to still deliver their end services to their end customers. And so we see this often with regards to natural disasters or unnatural disasters with regards to security threat. How do we help ensure that we drive that security within our customers' ecosystem together with partners such as Zerto as we go to market? And so this leaves me with the opportunity to talk about Windows 2008, so SQL Server, Windows Server 2008. And if any of you are running this within your environment, I hope you know that it's coming end of support. We've been talking about it and talking about it. It's just like those XP computers I still see. This really is something that we want all of our customers to be aware of. 2008 was our most successful product. We sold millions and millions of these licenses, and most of our customers are running 2008 in some shape or form. And generally what we find is there's a reason why our customers haven't upgraded. It's probably an app that's connected to something else, that's connected to something else that you're unable to modernize and move. And so how do we think about helping you? There are a couple ways. You're obviously able to upgrade and modernize within your existing infrastructure, and we encourage you to do that. If you have restrictions around upgrading 2008, you're able to move it into Azure with Zerto, and you get 3 years of free security updates. So I want to remind you and instill that if you're running 2008 without security patches, you're open to the threats and the vulnerabilities that we have in our ecosystem. And if you're running services You will not be GDPR compliant. And so please ensure that you partner with us, with Zerto, with your system integrators to think about how you're going to modernize or ensure that your 2008 environments are secure. So that's homework for you guys to take home. All right, and in addition, Zerto have partnered with us and said, actually, we'll do even more than that. So we'll help you modernize all of your 2008 customers, and we will invest Azure credits into helping the customers move into Azure. And so $3,000 of Azure credits along with some other additional Zerto support. And so please reach out to your Zerto contact. Please ensure that you have a connection with them. We want to make sure that your environments are secure. You're able to move to Azure. You're able to get the resiliency and security that you need within your environment. SQL is end of support in July. It's not very long. And Windows Server in January next year. And so we're here to help. We're here to help you. We're here to help you move to secure your environments. And then once secure, you're really able to take it to where you need it to be. I'll give you a quick story. Forever 21 is a great customer of ours. They're a running 2008 environment. And before Black Friday last year, they decided that there was too much risk on that old infrastructure and that they needed the ability to scale and have the security features that they required. So they moved into Azure. And now, before this Black Friday coming, they're modernizing those 2008 environments as well. So think about your staged approach with regards to your move into the cloud and talk to your Zerto contact about how they can help you together to get you moved. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the art of the possible. This is my favorite stuff to talk about because it's where we're going, how we can truly transform organizations. Networking, storage, VMs, yeah, they're there and you need them. They're like your baseline. But what's really interesting is how we think about democratizing AI and really transform your organizations. And if you're not thinking about how to use artificial intelligence to drive your business forward, your competitors are. And so I encourage you to think about what is the art of possible within your organization and how can you use AI and all of our cognitive services to help you transform the services that you deliver to your end customers. We've been working with AI for the last 25 years. Many people think that it's this new thing, and it's not. If you think about Skype and language translator, who remembers Clippy? I mean, Clippy was brilliant, right? He was an AI bot, yeah, like a brand new AI bot. We didn't even know it then. We have a digital crimes unit that's been running for many, many years using AI and identification of trends and patterns around attacks to our data centers. We've acquired multiple solutions. Bonsai is one of the solutions that we acquired to really multiply our compute capability with regards to AI. And as I think about AI, I think about it in these 4 pillars. It's around enabling digital transformation for our customers. It's around building coalitions with different organizations to have an impact within society. It's about building the core skills that we have in our markets. What we're finding is one of the biggest challenges to enabling digital transformation will be having enough people who actually understand the technology and land it within the market. Skills shortage and skills gap will be one of our biggest challenges we have within our customer environments. And then creating sustained societal impact. And so what does that mean? Let me give you a few examples of what that looks like. So from a digital transformation perspective, Alaska Airlines has been faced with this challenge of how to train their service engineers who go in and service the planes. And generally, it takes 2 years to train up a service engineer. What we did with Alaska is we've enabled them with mixed reality with our HoloLens solution to be able to script and give guidance to the engineers as they're doing the service work on their planes, really reducing the time to enable their teams to get up to speed, not having to carry around all the paperwork, but also as things change on the aircrafts, being able to keep them up to speed with what those changes are. So when I go and I talk to a customer about what is the biggest business challenge you have within your environment, these are the challenges we're trying to solve. The gnarly things that slow customers down, that waste time. How do we increase our speed of solving these solutions, increase our speed to market? Building coalitions. You may or may not have seen Microsoft has formed an alliance with Walgreens Boots to really think about connected consumer healthcare. How do we help our end consumers with accessibility to support with regards to healthcare and questions? How do we think about enabling technology, mining and learning from the healthcare industry in a way that we've never done before to really help us learn and create new healthcare solutions that we can take to market? So thinking about forming alliances which you may never have seen in the past before. With regards to the skills gap, we've created multiple resources around how we help to solve the skills gap. We have created something called Microsoft Learn, and I encourage you to all go and look at it. It's got many options around Azure training. We've built our AI business school. And in partnership with Zerto, they have built some Zerto Azure training, and I'll take you through a bit more of it in the next couple slides. And that is available for all of you to go and leverage at this conference. Skilling your end resources should be your number one priority as you think about digital transformation in your organization. And then creating a sustained societal impact. Exxon is a partner of ours. We created a solution together called Taser. And this is really helping the police force use sources such as facial recognition and other cognitive services, voice recognition, to analyze certain behavior and action and really have an impact in society. And so as I think about AI and I think about how we transform our end customers, these are some of the pillars that we look at. And again, it all comes back to the data that's mined to deliver these solutions. And so data is at the heart of everything. Having clean data, having secure data, having reliable uptime with your data is the only way to enable all of this transformation. And so hence our partnership that we have around driving resilience and delivering better customer outcomes for you. So I mentioned a little bit about skilling. We think about skilling in 3 ways. Self-paced skilling, so there's our online skilling portal, and you can see Zerto have a solution that side with My Zerto Labs. So if you don't have time in the conference today, please go and leverage the My Zerto Labs. We have online training that we've created together, as well as in-person events. If you're building your priority list of what to think about in your organization, ensure that developer DevOps training is on the top of your priority list. And so from a call to action perspective, it really is around protecting, securing, and ensuring that you have the resiliency and the reliability of your data within your data estate. Make sure that you connect with Microsoft or Zerto over the next few days to ensure that we're helping you along that path and connecting with regards to the developer ecosystem training. And so thank you for your time. It's been great to join you to talk a little bit about Azure, about our journey together and our great relationship that we have with Sudo. So thank you very much.